All right, Utah State is coming off its best season, 11-2 a year ago, and a Potato Bowl win over Toledo. But Gary Andersen has now moved on to Wisconsin. Matt Wells has his first head coaching job at any level. But, of course, he's got Chuckie Keeton back at quarterback. And most of the defensive studs are back, too. And Utah State has made the move from the WAC to the Mountain West Conference. And even though the move to the Mountain West, Utah State getting a lot of respect. Aggies picked to finish second behind Boise State in the Mountain Division. Utah State receiving one first-place vote compared to the Broncos' 40. But for a newcomer to the Mountain West, Aggies pretty happy with all the love and respect they're getting.
If I had one word to say what they are, it's tough.
The third Aggie sack of the night.
He's pressured, sacked!
That is getting rocked.
They're tough physically, they're tough schematically, and they're confident and they have some momentum. So I look for them to be right in the middle of this thing.
I think Utah State's excellent. I mean, I think they're going to be one of the top teams in our league from what they've done in the past to who they got coming back.
Yeah, they're loaded and with talent, and I mean, Gary did a phenomenal job.
You know, I know when you lose a coach that's real successful, everybody's like, uh-oh. Well, not so much, because the guy that's taking it over knows what worked, and he can put his own spin on it and add some new energy.
You know, no question, a top 20 football program, and this year probably should have an even stronger team this season, too.
This one is blocked into the end zone. Utah State will recover.
We've had a few conversations. You know, he's already agreed that, you know, when Boise comes to town, they won't play all the good players. They're going to rest them up for the next play, the next team. Yeah. That's what we're in negotiations for that. For some reason, I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, Jeremiah back with us now. You're at the Aggies with the Aggies at the Media Days for the Mountain West Conference. You surprised by all the respect they're getting from everybody else, being your number one?
No, for two reasons. Number one, they've got 15 starters back, and the other reason is Chuckie's one of those starters returning. If you enjoyed the Utah State offense last year, expect more of the same. Matt Wells' move from offensive coordinator provides continuity, and 8 starters return on offense, including Chuckie Keeton. He's on the Heisman Trophy watch list after a record-setting season.
Is he an NFL guy?
No question.
And he's going to go the distance! Spicy way to the end zone!
Can you believe that?
Chuckie Keeton set single-season school records in touchdown passes, passing yards, total offense, and completion percentage. Now he must prove he can put up those type of numbers against a tough schedule and a better conference.
Where'd he come from? Where'd he come from?
Chuckie Keeton, the true freshman.
And he's taken the nation by surprise a little bit. He's a guy that I think really can bring a lot to this league, to this conference. He's fun to watch.
You look at some of the quarterbacks in this conference, and it's a pretty impressive list. Where does he rank in your mind in that list?
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't trade him for any other ones, but I'm biased too.
The Aggies return all 5 starters on the offensive line, led by first-team preseason all-conference center Tyler Larson.
They'll keep me safe this year, and they're going to open up a lot of big holes for Joe Hill and the rest of the running backs.
Joe Hill leads a deep group at running back, and Travis Reynolds leads the receivers, where some new talent will need to step in and step up.
What are your expectations for this offense?
Oh, I think that we, you know, find our identity. You know, we do have a lot of linemen back. We've got a tight end back that's played for 3 years. You know, Travis Reynolds at receivers played quite a bit, and of course number 16. But we've got to come up with our identity and who we are, and we want to be explosive, and we want to play fast, and we're going to do those things. But are we going to do them a little bit different than we did them last year? Maybe so.
Wells' move from offensive coordinator to head coach provides familiarity and continuity, which should allow this offense to pick up where it left off.
Here's a fake handoff, a rollout by Keeton. He's still got the ball. Chuckie turns, scores, touchdown.
You're going to see something very similar to last year, but you're just going to see some new faces. That's all it is. And with those new faces, it's going to be a little bit of a flair from each person, and it's going to be very exciting. I look forward to seeing it in training camp and having it roll over until our first game against Utah.
Keaton's going to keep it, has a first down to the 20. Keeton to the free, touchdown.
It's something special that's really about to happen, and it's one of those things that on this team you can just kind of feel the vibe, and everyone's buying into it.
Utah State had 72 explosive plays last year. That's plays over 20 yards. The ability of the offense to maintain their explosiveness against a more difficult schedule may determine the level of their success, guys.
All right, Jeremiah. Matt Glade covers the Aggies for KSL.com. Everybody's wondering, Chuckie in the offense, great last year in the WAC. Mountain West now, a little different story. Can they repeat and put up those same kind of numbers?
I don't think the numbers will be quite as good based on what you just said. I mean, they're going against much better competition in the Mountain West Conference, and they're playing teams like, BYU, USC, and Utah early on the schedule. So the numbers won't reflect how good the offense is early on. But with Chuckie Keeton coming back, it's hard to imagine they won't be good. And plus, they have all 5 starters coming back on that offensive line, led by Tyler Larson. He's an NFL guy, and they're really deep at the running back position. Sure, you lose Kerwin Williams, but you have Joe Hill, you have Joey DiMartino, you have Robert Marshall. You got a lot of options back there.
You're the only one that was speaking that maybe not, because the Cougars and the Utes experts, they said they all had the rose-colored glasses on. Oh, everything's perfect. So, okay, Matt Austin, Chuck Jacobs gone from the receiving corps. Who's Chuckie going to throw to this year?
They've got a lot of options. They're deep at the position, but I still wonder who's going to be that #1 guy. You have the 2 Travises. You have Travis Van Leeuwen. You have Trannis Reynolds. They're seniors. They've always been the kind of possession receivers for the offense. They're going to try to be that deep threat. You've got sophomore Bruce Natson in the slot, really quick, really electrifying, but you've also got Brandon Swindle, who's a sophomore. He's the guy I think is going to become the big playmaker for the Aggies this season.
Kerwin Williams, he took over for Turbin. Had a great year, and he's still with the Colts on their roster as of right now. Who's going to take over for him? Is it going to be one guy or running back by committee?
Well, I think Joe Hill's going to get the majority of those carries to start off. And, it's kind of like the Broncos back in the 90s. Whoever they plugged in, they kind of had a great season. You have that great offensive line. And so I think whoever's back there, Joe Hill's going to have a good season. But like I said, Joey DiMartino, he's another senior. He's looking really good this fall and spring as well. It
is going to be interesting to see how Chuckie responds in the Mountain West. I think we all think that he will be A-OK. All right, that's the offense. The Aggie defense was one of the best in the country. Now, of course, they have better competition. Can they continue to dominate? We'll answer those questions, or we'll try to anyway, when we come back. All right, welcome back, SportsBeat, college football preview show. Jeremiah, we talked about the Aggies offense. Well, now let's talk about the Aggie D. Great last year, but in the WAC. Now moving to the Mountain West, same question as the offense. Can they be great again?
I think they'll miss Gary Andersen, the motivation that he provided. But just like the offense, a lot of starters back. The talent will be there to make that happen. The Utah State defense gave up just 15 points per game last season. That will be tough to repeat against a much more difficult schedule. But this group of returning starters embraces the challenge.
Identity I want our guys to be is we'll always be blue collar. We'll always play with the chip on our shoulder.
Light is pass picked off by Fackrell.
And we'll always be a group, I believe, that's intense and intentional about the work, but yet we're going to have fun. We're going to put a smile on our face and fly around and have fun.
There is a play action again by Manley. He's pressured, sacked!
The Utah State defense finished 14th in the country in total defense, 7th in scoring defense, and 6th in sacks in 2012. With 7 starters returning, expectations are for that kind of success to continue.
Are you confident that group can maintain the intensity and the success that they've had in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I am. I think when you look at who's coming back, they've played a lot of games. There's a lot of starts between them, especially that linebacking core. I don't have any doubts about their ability to lead and their ability to perform. It'll be a fun group to watch.
We're running the same type of program, Losing Coach A was hard, but having Coach Wells be the guy that stepped in and fill that spot, that was huge for us as a team because, when you have a coaching change, you don't know what's going to happen, what schemes are going to change, but Coach Wells did a good job of the new defensive guys that have come in. They had to learn our scheme. They have to learn how we do things. So terminology and all that stuff, virtually the same type of program, same core values.
Key returners like first-team preseason all-conference linebacker Kyler Fackrell, Connor Williams, Jake Dowdy, Zach Vigil, and Nevin Lawson will face some of the best quarterbacks in the country, like Fresno State's Derek Carr and San Jose State's David Fales.
Like you said, we had a good defense last year. That was last year, though. So this year, we got to step up our level of play. We have to watch that much more film on these guys because these guys are good. A lot of these guys can have a shot to go to the NFL. So that's some really good talent that we're going to have to stop. And that means, you know, if these guys are going to the NFL, they're really smart players. We have to be smarter than them to beat them.
The defense will be tested early. Road games at Utah, Air Force, USC, and San Jose State, as well as home games against BYU and Boise State, all in the first 7 weeks of the season.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a grind. But I look forward to it. Like I said, the rising competition, that's awesome. You know, that's why we do what we do. We like to compete. So walking down there open against Utah, it's going to be exciting. You know, I have a lot of respect for them guys, and obviously they want to beat us after last year. But we're not little brother anymore.
Last year, the Aggie defense gave up just 9 points in the first quarter last year and didn't allow a single first-quarter touchdown the entire season. That's crazy. The only team in the country to do so, guys.
All right, Jeremiah, thank you. Matt Glade back here. You've been to a number of Aggie practices here in the fall. Your impressions about this defense under Matt Wells?
They look even better than they did last year. Again, like we've talked about, the stats won't reflect that because of the level of competition they're playing. But with as many starters as they have coming back, the talent, the depth, the experience, I really see this defense being better, especially at the linebacker position. I mean, you have the normal guys. You have the Kyler Fackrells, the Zach Vigils, and the Jake Dowdys, but it's been those second-team guys, the guys behind them that have been really impressive, especially Zach Vigil's brother Nick, who's a redshirt freshman. He's been all over the field during fall ball, and he's earned his way with the first-team reps, and expect to see a lot of him and Tavares McMillan playing all over the place in that linebacking core.
Well, I don't even need to ask because you think the defense is better than last year.
I do. I think they're going to be good. I mean, we're going to find out in a hurry if they are. Whether I'm right or not, we're going to find out in those first 5-6 games.
Yeah, like in 4 nights, we'll find out.
Yes.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. All right, time now to relive some of the many great moments of last year, and there were a lot. It was the best season in school history. Aggie fans, here it goes. Let's get pumped up.